What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Building a Custom Home in the Country. This is part 6, which is the low voltage. What is low voltage? So low voltage consists of the white wire, which is speaker wire, the gray wire, which is camera wire, the blue wire, which is general wire. Over here we have black wire, which is power wire, and white wire, which is security wire. So we are going to talk through all the things all of these wires are used for. The first thing we need to talk about when we talk about low voltage is where your network room will be. Now, your network room could be a box, a wall-mounted rack, something smaller. With all these cables, I'm going to have a whole network room. So everything will run to this room. So when I say there's a home run from something, whether it's a speaker, camera, window, the home run terminates here, and this will be the central management point of everything that is connected throughout the house. So the first thing we're going to talk through, like I said, is speaker wire. Now, the purpose of these speakers is one of two. For most of the other areas of the house, it's just to have whole home audio. So that means you can play from a source, whether it be your phone or a TV, in any room of the house, outside, all controllable through your phone. So you don't have to have any speakers sitting on counters, on tabletops, anything like that. They can all be up in the ceiling. The second reason is in an entertainment space, if you want surround sound, then you can make home runs all the way to the network closet for all of those and control them through that same central unit. Starting in this room, we have the 4 ceiling speakers. You could use this to just play any kind of music from your phone or from another source system. So in the living room, they are tied into a 5.1.4 surround sound system. And what that means is there are 5 speakers around the sitting area, there's 1 subwoofer, and there are 4 speakers in the ceiling for a total of 10 speakers. So as you're watching TV here, we have all the speaker hookups routed already, and that is so when the drywall is put in, they can cut around them. So we have the left speaker here, right speaker here, center speaker, sub down here. We have more speaker terminals over here. These are going to be for the rear 2 speakers. We already went over the 4 speakers we have in the ceiling, and that accounts for all 10 speakers in this room. So one call out, there are brackets in the ceilings for where the speakers are going to go. The brackets do not hold the speakers in there. They are just a marker, so when they put drywall in, they know where to cut out. There's no structural benefit from having those brackets in there. The speakers actually hang on to the drywall, so you don't need the brackets in there. But we do have brackets for anywhere that we plan on putting speakers in as soon as we move in. There are some areas of the house, such as right over here, where we don't have a speaker to start. I might never put a speaker here, but we already ran the speaker wire to this location. So if we want to add a speaker here, we can down the line without having to pull additional wire through. So when talking about the wire, the type of wire we used is 14 gauge speaker wire. Now there's one nuance here where we used 14-4 wire and we used 14-2 wires. So 14 is the gauge. The number after it is how many wires come in the sleeve. So now how speakers work is there's always a left and a right speaker. Even if you have 1 speaker in your ceiling, there will be a left hookup and there will be a right hookup. In scenarios where there is just 1 speaker, you run the 14-4 there, and then you have the positive and negative for the left and the positive and negative for the right. In scenarios like this, where we have a left speaker over here and a right speaker over here, we have the 14-4 wire running to this speaker from the home run, and then we have a 14-2 wire connecting this to this, and that makes it so we don't have to run an individual 14-2 wire to each left and right pair. We can run the 14-4, so you do make it a little bit easier on yourself. It's a little bit less bulky. Next, we're going to move out to the porch, and the reason we're out to the porch is to talk about camera wire. So there are 2 camera wires running to each corner of the house and each corner of the garage, and that will ensure that we can put a camera facing whatever way we want to cover the whole outside of the house. We can put multiple in these locations if we need one pointing one direction and another pointing another direction. We also added them in more locations than just those corners because we wanted to also cover the entrances from the inside and the outside, and we wanted to cover the kids' room. So here we have a camera location here, so this camera location will cover the driveway, and we also have a camera location over here to cover the front door. Instead of just the front door covering or just the driveway covering, right now at our current house we only have the driveway covered and we can't see the packages on our porch, so it was a recommendation to have one pointed at the front door and one pointed away from the front door. And like I said, we have cameras on the inside too, covering the inside of the entrances. So this is our front door. There's also a camera covering this area. Moving on to the kids' rooms, we do have camera hookups in both of the kid rooms. And why that is because we have a nanny cam right now for our baby that is Wi-Fi. Sometimes it disconnects from the Wi-Fi, sometimes it has other issues. We learned from that we're putting hardwired camera hookups in the kids' room. So once they get old enough where you wouldn't have a baby cam or a nanny cam, just unplug it, take it away. But while you do want a camera in your kids' room to watch that your baby's okay or whatever it may be, from my experience, this is going to be a more resilient option than the Wi-Fi options out there. And this will also let me hook it up to home automation. Back in the living room again, we are now going to talk about TV hookup. We run a video cable, which we use Cat 6A. I don't know exactly why, but that was what was recommended online. It was a little bit more expensive and only needed for the video signals to the TV, so that's what I chose. Now we also have 3 other Ethernet Cat 6 regular cables running to the TV as well. That might seem like overkill, but this is an example where you would want 4 Ethernet cords going to your TV at least. You have 1 for video coming from that central point. That could be from a video provider. That could be hooked into your home automation where when somebody's coming down the driveway, it automatically shows the camera output on your TV. You have 1 to take the sound from the TV back to that central point. The reason for that is then you can play your TV through any of the speakers in the house or every speaker in the house if that's what you want to do. The third is for the basic internet usage of the TV. A lot of us have smart TVs now. It has an Ethernet port on the back, so you have a more reliable connection than just Wi-Fi where it'll cut out or slow down. Or even if you haven't had any problems with your Wi-Fi TV, that is taking Wi-Fi signal away from another device that could use it. And then the fourth and last one is an extra one for something if you have a Hopper or a Roku or anything auxiliary to your TV that feeds into it but needs an internet connection, you can wire that up. We're in the master bedroom here. None of what I said changes. We have the same hookups to this TV, can run all the same things. Any place we have a TV, any bedroom, we have all of those same things going to it so we can support all the same functionality throughout it. I'm going to need at least 3 for basic functionality. The 4th one is for something extra. Downstairs we have additional ones, but in the kids' rooms, if they want to hook up an Xbox, they can use that extra port behind the TV. Since we're in the bedroom anyways, we might as well talk about the next use of the Ethernet cable, which I am terming control. So what this is for is to control different stuff around the house. Some of the uses would be putting a tablet there, putting a Bluetooth adapter, again, that could feed the signal into the house. It can be a sound source that feeds into your speakers. If you're in this room, you want to connect your phone Bluetooth through the speakers, you can have a Bluetooth wall plate connected by Ethernet that feeds back to that home run system. Your phone can be connected to it, and then you can play music in your room or in the whole house. The control runs are not only run to the bedrooms or any specific room, they're also run to any entrance. So as you come in either this way, or through the mudroom, or through the back porch, I wanted controls here so we can either hook, like I said, a tablet up that shows you an interface to your home automation, or you can hook a switch up that controls something through Ethernet, or any of the other uses for an Ethernet hookup on a wall plate. The next hookup we're going to talk through are ceiling hookups. We're in the living room again, but this is not specific to the living room. Pretty much every room has ceiling hookups. Now, these can be used for 2 cases that I know I'm going to use them firsthand, but I might also find other use cases the longer I live here. The 2 use cases are going to be a wireless access point. So, historically in my house, I've had terrible Wi-Fi service. Not only in the room right beside where the router is, but outside the house, in the garage. So to solve that, I want to put access points everywhere I've previously had internet issues, which means there will be one on this floor, one on the second floor, one outside, and one in the garage. So we have extended Wi-Fi coverage everywhere. Another use of the ceiling access points is they make ceiling mounts that can hold your Alexa that need power from the Ethernet. So you plug it into your Alexa, you put it up in the ceiling, and then you don't need it on the countertop or on any tables. So now we're getting into more of the nuanced uses of Ethernet. So I have some set up for behind the fridge, behind some kitchen appliances, in the closets such as the pantry, near a washer and dryer, and this is, again, to future-proof anything. Everything that's coming out of smart appliances now, some have Ethernet hookups, some don't, but as they come out and come more and more frequent, I want to be prepared if I need to hook anything up there. It's never going to hurt to have too many Ethernet ports in your house. It is going to cost more the more you run. But if you do it yourself, you pull your own cable, it's not that hard or that expensive, and there's no inspection after it, so the home builder will let you do this by yourself. Now I think we covered all the uses for the Ethernet. Let's jump into the other cables we ran. So the next cable we're going to talk about is the power cable for the blinds. This is a 16-2 cable, and you need one run to each place that you would have an automated blind. So we have a bunch of windows. I am not a tall person. And these are high windows. So we want automated window shades. You can either control them from a wall outlet, your phone, a remote. There are many ways to do it. You can automate it, tie it into your home automation. There are many great things about those blinds except for how expensive they are. But once you get past that, they seem pretty amazing. For these windows, I haven't ran any cables yet because they're going to be extremely hard to run. I can't put them between the beams, so I might as well wait until after and then figure something out. For the other windows, such as these, you can see the cables hanging out. They're supposed to come at least halfway. I brought them a little bit more in case I have to cut any off or readjust it. They come from the left-hand side because I know what blinds I'm going with. If you don't know what blinds you're going with, this supports most blinds. It used to be recommended that you get special wire for the Lutron blinds, but that is no longer the case. I did call before I ran this, so you just need to run 16-2 wire to each window, and then once it's finished, you can hook them up to the blinds. Now, also using these windows, there's one more cable ran here. It's behind this drywall, so you can't see it, but it is the security cable. So what that is for is when you go to somebody's house and you hear front door open. It's because of their security system. Now, I don't have wires ran to everywhere, such as the front door needed reframed and the front door just got in here. So when I ran the wires, front door wasn't even installed. I'm going to go with a wireless option for that. And a couple other areas that were just hard to run wires to, I'm going to go with wireless options as well. So I think that wraps up everywhere we ran low voltage cable. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Next video, we will talk about insulation, siding, and HVAC. See you for the next one.